Like I always thought, and I still may do it once I get myself more established. I want to be like a consultant for like restaurants and business consultants, like within the food service industry. Only because I've been doing food since I was 15. I've been through so many trainings and so many orientations and helping open brand new places. Opened the Quiznos. I even went to Quiznos University. That's how serious they took their brand. The company flew me all the way out to Denver, Colorado to learn how to make a sandwich.
So these companies been flying you out,
but it worked out. I mean, but they just built it, and that taught me like how important it is for certain things. And then sometimes it teaches you the why. A lot of times you don't know the why, but you got to know the why with everything that you do. And that also, it shows in the product that you put out. So, I mean,
fruits of our labor, man.
Fruits of our labor, definitely.
Like food, catering.
You know, this is so catchy.
Oh,
everybody loves it.
Everybody
see this. This is it. And you're not going to see it nowhere else. Food is going to be a household name. I guarantee it. When I do this magnet run, every time I go somewhere, there's going to be a magnet on somebody's refrigerator.
Gotcha.
I gave my card to this guy one day, and he looked at it. He was like, I've seen this before. It might be at my house on my table, but I've seen this. And in his mind, it was just like cool to think, you know what? You've seen it. It was dope. I was at the empanada truck one day, and the guy was like, yeah, you're the chef of the food, right? Something like that. I was like, yeah, where do you know me from? He was here at your guys' housewarming party.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, and it's cool to go places. Like, hey, what's up, chef? And like, you know, it's cool. When another actual chef actually called me chef one day, for me, I was like, yo, I'm in the ranks. I'm respected now, you know? So, it's just cool, man.
Now, is that something that you saw happening? I know right now you see yourself as opening up a restaurant eventually and being able to consult other businesses when you do get to that level. Do you actively visualize, or is it one of those things where
actively visualize thoughts never go? They're always there. It's always on my mind of how to get to the next step. When I'm out driving around, I always got my eyes open, because some of these places may be for rent or for lease or something like that. You don't really know the situation of this building and what they actually are needing there, where they may actually give you a deal. You may go in there, they see that you're trying, they're not hurting for money. You know what? Your first 6 months, I'm gonna do half off the rent till you get yourself established to build up your clientele. You know, I've known
so those doors are open as long as you get to knocking.
When the right situation, when the right situation comes along, I'm prepared to make that move and go into it.
Gotcha.
And the one thing I had to come up with, because everybody like, what's your end game? Is it a food truck? Is it a restaurant? Is it this? Is it that? And I'm like, no, my end game is to have my own version of Grand Affairs. For those who don't know what Grand Affairs is, it's the venue of the J Beach that's been there for years. They host parties, they have their own kitchen, they do everything. They have a little in-house DJs and everything they use. I want my own version of that. Why not have the business where I can get the money for the venue? I want to get all the money for the catering. I also can do outside catering, because now I have the huge commercial kitchen where I can do whatever I want to do out of it. If I run the food truck, I can still run my food truck out of there. This is my commissary. This is where I house my truck. But now I'm providing space for everybody to come all in one. People like convenience. If you can come to one place, you can get your decorating, you get your food, you get your DJ, you get your venue. One-stop shopping. Why not? Yeah, and it's going to happen. It's like, I don't know when, I don't know where it's going to be located, but it's definitely going to happen.
How do you know? How do you know it's going to happen?
Because I've claimed it. Once you claim it, you write it down, you put it out there, it's in the atmosphere. It's just a matter of time of when it's all going to come to fruition.
You remember I told you
this? It's going to happen.
You remember I told this? I said this? When I first had the idea, for example, I went to the Lord and I said, I need the software for it. I said I need the design software, Photoshop, Illustrator, all those. And I was like, I'm doing this. I'm going to do example. I'm going to design clothing, things like that. I think that next day, I went to church, and I told you, Travis came up to me. He was like, man, look, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I got something for you. Dude handed me a disc, Adobe, with all the Adobe software up there. Yo, that thing was over $1,000 worth of software on one disc. He was like, man, look, just be blessed, take this, blah, 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 right? Fast forward, so I'm doing the designs, I'm taking baby steps, and early designs were horrible. I'm going to sleep with a notepad by my bed, so when I wake up and I'm inspired, I jot it down. I'm carrying this thing around with me. I remember I was working at Office Depot, and I was thinking, how am I going to get this shirt in What was the name of the store? Commonwealth. I'm thinking, how am I gonna get in there? Less than 5 to 10 minutes later, the owner of Commonwealth walked in. Mind you, only seen this guy once in my life, and that was 2 or 3 years prior to when there was a sneaker release. And we stood in line. I tried on it. It was real brief. I tried it on. He asked us how he liked it. We found out he was the owner. We was like, yo, that's what's up. I left. 3 years later, I only seen him once. He walked in the store. And so I said, man, I was like, are you Larry? He was like, yeah. I said, you own Commonwealth? He was like, yeah. So we started talking. I told him I had the brand or whatever. And he was like, look, man, here's the number to my buyer. Just reach out to him, tell him about your product, this, that, and the other. But things started moving when I made the decision. Because the scripture says, whether people believe it or not, it says, thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and light shall shine on your path. Meaning, you decree it, and then things just start working. Things just start happening in line, like the software came. Larry, the owner of Commonwealth, who I was trying to get in, came, and he gave me the number to his buyer. You see what I'm saying? So all this stuff started working. But what ended up happening, I didn't stay the course. I had left the job. I quit. Had this euphoric feeling, right? Went in all in, and I wasn't ready. Like I didn't have.
By whose standards?
Mine, because I didn't have consistent clientele. I had people saying they would support, right?
Did he ask for numbers?
Huh?
Did he ask for numbers? His buyer?
No, I never got in contact with him. I kept calling. I kept calling and calling and calling and calling and calling, and he wouldn't pick up. I'll go down to the store and talk to him. He was like, yeah, man, look, we about to go overseas to this release or whatever, or to this fashion show. When we get back, we'll be in touch. And I kept calling, and then it got to the point where I stopped. I think had I kept going and recognized what I had.
Example might be a household name by now.
It could have been. But see, I didn't know what I had. I was just like, I don't want to be worse than, you know what I mean? Who am I? I don't want to be worse than.
You gotta be working though.
But see, at the time,
you didn't know.
I didn't know.
Charlamagne the guy said the other day that to be successful, you gotta have that that DJ Khalid level of annoyance, where you just in your face and doing it, and you just gotta keep pushing. And I realized if you actually got a good product, it's okay to be a little annoying.
Right.
You gotta keep pushing it because you believe in it, you know it's good, and the people eventually they're gonna realize that it's just as good as you say it is. It's just sometimes getting them to realize and see it. It's a process, but you got to keep focusing, keep pushing it, and they're gonna realize it sooner or later.
And you'll be ready as long as you have that belief in yourself and you have the product to back it up.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be afraid to work hard. Sleep can become optional.
Right.
But see,
you want it bad enough.
Those are lessons. Everything that I experienced, I wish I hadn't gone through it, but now I know. Yeah. So now, moving forward, like just put it into perspective. I know what I do. I know I just don't put shirts together. I know I work with the best designers. Somebody that's been putting time in and work in and years in. I know I source the material. I know my level of standard. Like I kick myself when I look back of what I put up with, but it was lessons learned.
And my mama's favorite saying, even to this day, live for today because tomorrow's not promised. Now, it sounds good. Live every day to the fullest. Have a great time. Give it your all. Do everything you can because you can't ever get this day back. Cool. But what her thought was, I got this $5. I'm going to spend it because tomorrow ain't promised. Tomorrow come around, I'm going to figure something out.
But see.
Well, what do you mean? Like, why are you teaching me always to spend my last?
But see, that's
why not teach me to, okay, if I need to spend it, spend $1 and save the other $4.
Yeah.
Never told me about credit, never told me how to save. It was always spend it now because tomorrow ain't promised. And me being me, I'm young, I believe it. I believed it until I got to the point where, you know what? I really need to have a savings. If I start saving, I I actually could have some money. I wouldn't be trying to figure this out, figure that out, but it was never taught to me. Credit wasn't no such thing as credit. I mean, it just didn't work. Then her whole other thing was, you gotta rob Peter to pay Paul. That was the other saying. I totally get it. I owe Paul money. I'm gonna figure out how to do this. So what did that teach me how to do? It taught me how to go out here. That taught me how to get payday loans from 3 or 4 different places. And because I can't pay them off, I'm gonna, okay, sorry, business. But that taught me to go to this one, renew my loan.
But see, the truth,
take this money, go pay this one off, renew it, and then you just keep going around.
What she ain't got though,
which is true. But at the end of the day, this is my thing. They always say break generational curses. That's just a cliche saying, but it's actually the truth.
That's the key. That's the key.
Because the thing is, what I don't know, I'm thirsty to find out. I'm talking to people. I'm trying to figure things out. I'm teaching my daughters about stuff that my mom never taught me about, and it's just like back then she didn't. I ain't gonna say she didn't care enough, but in my mind I feel like she didn't care enough to try to make sure I was going down the right path to do stuff.
Do you think she was a condition of her environment, or a condition maybe some people around her died?
I don't like to use the environment as a crutch. I don't. Only because you can change your current environment if you work towards it, or just study or figure things out. Even if you can't physically change it, you can change your mindset, and you can instill that in your kids.
But where does that come from?
But where does it come from?
You gotta want it. You gotta want it. You gotta want it.
All right, let me
we don't know what to want.
Yes. I've been through things. My mom went through things. So the same way right now, I want my kids to have it better than I did, and to know things that I didn't know. She could have had the same thought. But me personally, I want her to know. If I'm in the store now, prime example, me and Mahogany, 7 years old, Dollar Tree. She wants to go buy this because it's in a box, Cheez-Its, whatever. Cool, it's $1. I say, check how many ounces in it. 0.5. I said, okay, you got the same bag over here. See how many are in the bag. She looks at it, 0.8. I say, so which one are you going to get the better value? Which one's going to give you more for your $1? The bag. Okay, I'm going to get the bag. Something just as simple as that. We went back to another store. She was checking the weights and stuff for the same product at the prices so that she knew the right one to go get.
Now, let me ask you,
but she had somebody to point that out. Did your mom?
He said his mom didn't do that for him. Now, do you think it's exposure? Here's what I mean. You probably was coming up exposed to a certain group or certain people that got you thinking there's more to paying Peter than Paul, and it could be all she was hearing around her
was the same thing she was putting into you.
And I did that with
you did it. I saw it.
Growing up, and I still ain't.
You preaching? Go ahead, babe.
Growing up, all I was taught was, for the most part, go to school, get a good job, retire. Now, my mom didn't teach me that because my mom, she was a stay-at-home, but I saw her being industrious in business, creating stuff. But I saw my dad get up 4, 5 in the morning. I don't see him till 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, and it was at clockwork. The people around him, because I almost idolized my dad. The people around him worked hard, worked at their job 20, 30 years, this, that, and other. I went to college, bro. Graduated and could not get a job. And I'm thinking to myself, I did everything I was supposed to. Why is this thing not working? Right? Why is it not working? So I started looking at my background and what it is I like to do. I like business. I like buying and selling. I like creating. So let me work on that. So now we talking to our kids about owning their own company. You ain't gotta work for nobody. Mattress firm taught me that.
But you didn't know that. You didn't know that.
I didn't know it prior to. You see what I'm saying? And I'm a firm believer of you can't give somebody what you don't have. But what I'll say is, having gone through what I've gone through, I may not be able to tell my daughter and son everything, but now I know enough to get them out there to where you can think differently. You see what I'm saying? My parents' generation, all they knew was working the shipyard. All they knew was working in the Air Force and retirement. All they knew is just putting food on the table for 5 kids. You see what I'm saying? And I think it's valid that you feel this way and that you can put the onus on your mom, but at the same time, I think it takes understanding where they are, who you associate with, who you're around. Because, like I told you earlier, I broke free from who I was and who I was with so I could have them. Like I said, I was living vicariously through them, and it took everything for me to break away. So, some examples, we got Jordan. She wants her own babysitting company. She was 12, and we didn't start for a drink. She went looking at buildings. I was like, that's my building right there. We was like, that's right. Now, do you know what goes into owning the building? Do you know what goes into managing the building? Not discouraging. Just say, this is what you got to look at. And she getting pictures. She getting a business plan. Things I didn't have at 12. Now I could have because I had my grandma. Like, bro, if I knew what I had with my grandma, look, my grandma used to clean out houses. And she used to save the stuff she cleaned out. And she took me to a warehouse, me and my cousin, full of washers, dryers, and ovens, and refrigerators, and stuff like that. She said, load it on the truck. We loaded it on the truck. She took it to us, told us to take it to a building she owned. We unloaded. She was like, this y'all thrift store if y'all want it.
So you had it. You had it.
And I didn't know what I had. I'm a freshman.
So maybe
in college,
maybe it's
bro.
not. So looking at it that way, maybe it's not early exposure to children.
Maybe it's not. You just got, like I said, it goes back to the other. It's a number of different factors. It's early exposure. It's exposure.
You think
it's gotta be you gotta want it because I didn't want it. It could be the youth is wasted on the young because I had in my mind I'm in college. I'm gonna give me a good job.
You don't
I want no thrift store. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I knew what I had, I'd be like, God dang, all right, I can still do college, but let me run this business and build this thing up and grow. But bro, I had no idea what I had, and to this day, I don't know what happened to us. I was a freshman in college and could have had a thrift store and access to a warehouse full of stuff, and I knew how to get the stuff. I knew how to get more stuff because she was flipping houses. I could have flipped houses with her, and I knew how to clean it. I knew how to clean the ovens. I knew how to clean the stoves. I knew how to clean the washer and dryer.
so wait. So you know how to clean
I
stove?
knew how.
You forgot how to do that. Okay.
I knew how.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a number. Going back to your mom. Our parents, honestly, they could have done a better job. But I honor them because they did the best.
They did what they knew how to do.
With what they had.
They only know what they know when they pick. She straight told me, she said, I couldn't teach you what I didn't know.
But
And
you're
I understood
saying
it.
you could have learned.
But I'm just, anybody can learn.
Out, right?
But my question for her was like, well, did you want to learn? Did you want more? Did you want to know? And then you got to realize that everybody in this world isn't meant to be an owner. Everybody's not supposed to have their own
That's
business.
another thing.
Some people are meant to go in and clock in and clock out. Some people are never going to have good credit no matter what you do for them. It's just that's their mentality, that's what they're okay with, and that's how it's going to go. So it's like something that really isn't me. It's like, man, you know what? I got to want more. I got to do better. And I got to show my kids how to get this and how to do better.
Do you think you have an opportunity now to show your mom to kind of give her a life that she didn't know was possible?
My mom was already living like
Okay.
She seen what I did. She's proud of me. She was very worried at first, but she's seeing it. She's seeing it happen. She sees I'm serious. I'm taking it. She know where I've been, where I come from, and she, in her mind, she has an idea of where I'm going. But she sees everything happening. She hears how people are talking about me, even when I'm not around. So she's living through me, and she's seeing what's going on. My mom wanted a car a few years back. She told me, nah, not an Acura. She wanted she just needed a car. She got her she wanted to do a car payment. I've asked her against it. I'm like, well, if you want to do it, let me help you. I found her car. We went to look at it. I did all the checking of the car. I'm laying on the ground, the whole 9 yards. We go in there, sit down, And the lady's trying to talk to my mom because she's the one signing the papers. She was like, no, just talk to my son. Let him handle everything. I got her price down. I got rid of all the extra BS they're trying to sell her that she did not need. And she literally just paid off her car like a week ago.
How many years ago was that?
It was like 2 or 3 years. It probably was 3 years. But she just paid off her car. Super excited. She never had car payments, never paid off her car, never owned a car in that manner to do it. And she was super excited. And it's all because of I went in and I showed her how to do it.
And how you could.
I helped her navigate to get to the very end. And every time I talk to her, she still says thank you so much because I helped put all the balls in motion and put it in
to
place.
qualify my statement or expound on it, do you think now that you can show her the things that you want her to teach you, that you can now show and teach her? Like, look, Mom, you can own your house.
Yeah, it's not too late for her.
It's not too late, but her mindset, she doesn't want to own anything. She doesn't want to start something new. She still has a bad way of spending money. She lives with my brother right now. She's partially blind, or almost completely blind in one eye now. And she's going to use that as a crutch to say why she can't do this or why she can't do that.
Get around blind people that are successful.
Or these medicines cost this amount of money, this and the third. I'm probably going to end up staying with somebody for the rest of my life. I'm not going to have my own place. Like, she's so conditioned and made herself kind of okay with that. That it's hard to a certain way. Now, what I'm really looking to see what happens is that next month is going to be her first month without a car payment. That's putting a couple hundred back to your bottom line. Sorry, that was a great play. That's putting a couple hundred back down on her bottom line.
Okay.
Let's see how this goes. Her daughter-in-law, who she lives with, is great with finances, handles all of my brother's finances. She's tried to put her on a spending plan and help her get things accomplished and build credit, but she's one of those, she's stubborn. She's real stubborn, and I can say she lost hope, but she's settled with what she has, and that's
She's okay with it?
She is.
Don't give up on her.
I never give up on her. I try to help her, but she got to be open and honest, and they got to want to help, and they got to be able to be transparent. But honesty is the biggest key to it all. And if you can't even be honest with yourself, ain't no way you gonna sit down with, I'm not a stranger, but just another person in general, and be honest with them. Just like I told you earlier, when you were asking me about, was I gonna go talking about my finances, and I was like, I'm not even ready to be there yet. And I'm doing business, I'm doing things, and I'm not even there yet. So I know for her, it will take a lot more work. Now, on the flip side of all of this, my dad wasn't around with me growing up, always knew who he was. It took for me to reach out to him for us to get a better relationship. He got a pool table. I was learning to shoot pool. I play all the old timers. We built a relationship, and just seeing my dad's hustle put more hustle in me. And I already had hustle, but he gave me a different parts into the hustle, to the point where my dad has plenty of money. He got good credit. He goes Saturday and get anything he want. I just talked to him today about he just flipped 2 pickup trucks. He has his house. And it's just he's completely different. He's so smart with his money. He's so smart with his business. He's smart with everything he did. And in my head, man, I wonder if I grew up around him.
And that's what my next question
would I have
is
been different? But then again, I probably wouldn't have been, because even my sister, who did grow up with him in the house, he was never in the house. But then he always run around doing something. And I'm older, so I can accept it. I understand it. But I still learned a lot from him, and he helps me get money sometimes too. So just his hustle, his drive, and see how he got it all set.
You said you've always been that, you've always had that I'm gonna get it mentality, or
for the most part, always was at times the drive isn't there, at times it should be. But for me, a lot of times it's by any means necessary.
Okay.
But to have that drive in business is different from just having it just living. Because by any means necessary before meant it can mean anything for me. But once you have responsibilities and family, by any means necessary has to be only down a certain road.
Right.
You ain't zigging and zagging no more. You know, you ain't robbing Peter to pay Paul. But you know, it just things just kind of change a lot. So it's my biggest thing is I just can't feel I'm gonna be successful. My kids are gonna see it. They're gonna know that they have options. They're gonna know how to run a business. They're gonna be smart with it. They're gonna protect the credit. They're gonna protect the name, and they're gonna be able to be self-sufficient with or without the help of anybody else.
Like that.
And it just has to happen. Because I'm just like, if I set them up with everything I know and everything I continue to learn, they're not gonna fail. It's just not gonna happen. So if I can get that to happen, then I feel I've been successful in this thing called life.
That's what it's about, passing it on.
Got to. I have to.
Would you do what you do without the income? Like,
Would I do this without
would
the
you?
income?
Yeah, would you cater?
Most definitely. I love cooking. I watch cooking shows. I play with recipes. I like people tasting my food. I like the reactions. I just love what I do. So occasionally I do stuff and there's no money involved because I don't have to get rich off everything.
Yeah.
I just have a passion for it and I love it. And sometimes what I'm doing may actually be something somebody needs at that moment they didn't even know they needed, and it may just change their perspective of that day just by a small gesture. Hey, I had an extra when I thought about you. So definitely I would do it without the money. Hands down. Not even a question.
Gotcha.